Hello, welcome to InfoFire, the Fireside chat series from Information Matters. InfoFire brings visionaries and experts from diverse domains to share their perspectives on a chosen topic. Each episode is a conversation between our guest and your host. I am Shalini R, your host for this series. I am an academic with more than 4 decades of experience in teaching and researching information. I founded two educational institutions. The first one is the International School of Information Management at the University of Mysore with seed grant from Ford Foundation. ISIM was the first high school in India established in the year 2005 following the public-private partnership model. In 2012, I founded the Myra School of Business with a focus on triple bottom line. In today's episode, I am in conversation with Mr. Narayana Murthy on the topic of AI and India. Mr. Narayana Murthy, often referred to simply as NRN, is a renowned figure in the world of technology and business. As the co-founder of Infosys, one of the world's leading IT services company, NRN has left an indelible mark on the global business landscape. His visionary leadership, commitment to excellence, and dedication to social responsibility have earned him widespread recognition and respect. He is such a prominent figure that he needs no introduction. Although NRN's reputation precedes him, I would like to offer a brief introduction to underscore the magnitude of his contributions. NRN is one of the 7 co-founders of Infosys, the iconic Indian IT services company founded in 1981. The visionary founder of Infosys has built one of the largest companies in India, helping to transform the economy and put it on the world stage. In 2005, he co-chaired the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. In 2007, he was described as the father of the Indian IT sector by the Time magazine and CNBC for his contribution to outsourcing in India. Fortune magazine in 2012 listed NRN among the 12 greatest entrepreneurs of our time, along with Apple's Steve Jobs, Microsoft founder Bill Gates, and Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg. Called the outsourcer Murthy, he was ranked 10th. The US magazine Fortune wrote, NRN proved that India could compete with the world by taking on software development work that had long been the province of the West. NRN graduated in 1967 with a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from the University of Mysore and received his master's degree from the Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur in 1969. He started his career as a research associate and later as Chief Systems Programmer at the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. He started a company named Softronics. When that company failed after a year and a half, he joined Patni Computer Systems in Pune. In 1981, he, with 6 software professionals, founded Infosys, and the rest is history, as the saying goes. Awards and recognition galore for NRN. Currently, Mr. Murthy serves on the boards of the Institute for Advanced Study at Princeton, New Jersey, and the United Nations Foundation. He has served on the boards of Ford Foundation in New York, HSBC, and Unilever in London. He is also a member of the advisory boards and councils of several educational and philanthropic institutions, including Cornell University, INSEAD, the Indo-British Partnership, Asian Institute of Management, and many others. He is a trustee of the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton and of the Rhodes Trust. He is the president of the Infosys Science Foundation, which governs the Infosys Prize, an annual award to honor outstanding achievements of researchers and scientists. NRN has been honored with Wharton Dean's Medal in 2001 by the University of Pennsylvania, Max Schmidt-Haney Freedom Prize in 2001 by Max Schmidt-Haney Foundation at the University of St. Gallen. In 2007, he was awarded Ernst Weber Managerial Leadership Award. In 2008, he was awarded Padma Vibhushana, the second highest civilian award by the Indian government. He was awarded the Woodrow Wilson Award for Corporate Citizenship in 2009, Hoover Medal in 2012, Thomas Jefferson Foundation Medal in 2017, and Founders Medal in 2018, and the list continues. He has received more than 25 honorary doctorates from universities in India and abroad. His son-in-law, Rishi Sunak, is currently the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. NRN carries his accolades and honors with remarkable ease, epitomizing the philosophy of simple living and high thinking. Without further ado, let me begin my conversation with NRN. Hello, Mr. Murthy. Welcome to InfoFire, the Fireside Chat series from Information Matters. It's an absolute honor and, of course, pure joy to have this conversation with you on this topic of AI, India, and responsible AI. Thank you so very much. Sir, you started your career obtaining a bachelor's degree in engineering from NIU University of Mysore in the year 1967. Today, you are a globally recognized, iconic leader, entrepreneur. In fact, Time Magazine and CNBC gave the sobriquet that father of the Indian IT sector to you in the year 2007. And yours has been an inspiring and fascinating journey of grit and grace, aspiration and exhilaration, if I can say so. And you have had a front row seat to the emergence of India on the global scene, especially in the IT sector. Could you share your views on the birth and the evolution of the Indian IT sector with our viewers?
Well, first of all, Professor Shalini R, I must thank you for this opportunity to speak with you on this prestigious platform. Let me talk a little bit about the birth of the Indian software services industry and how it took off. The Indian software services industry took off due to a few technological reasons in the late 70s and perhaps early 80s. The first of these reasons was the emergence of super mini computers produced by Digital Equipment Corporation, Data General Corporation, Hewlett-Packard, Prime, and other companies in the US. These machines were almost as powerful as IBM mainframe machines like IBM 4341, 4361, 4381 machines, but they cost a fraction of the IBM machines. Second, these machines came with relational databases like DB2 on an IBM machine, and they also came with online transaction processing monitors like the CICS on the IBM machine. So these machines became very useful for commercial data processing of small and medium corporations and for departmental commercial computing for large corporations in the US. This led to an explosion of the demand for software development for commercial applications in the US. At the same time, in India was producing a large number of engineers. But these engineers were without jobs in India. Even a fraction of those that came from IITs were without jobs. So these engineers were recruited and trained in software engineering by Indian software companies. Now, these engineers that we recruited Some of them were civil engineers, some of them were electrical engineers, some of them were metallurgical engineers, and in fact, we had even a few who had specialized in marine architecture. Second, further, as globalization became popular, the Indian software companies built scalable, talent-rich, quality and productivity-driven, and value for money software development centers in India. Companies like Infosys popularized the global delivery model and the 24 workday paradigms. Many well-known software companies from the US started operating in India starting in early 90s. The Indian software services companies received a huge approbation from the global corporations when they handled the Y2K problem with high quality, unmatched speed, and hitherto unachieved value for money. That's how the reputation of the Indian software companies as dependable partners became indelible in the minds of the senior management of global corporations. Let me stop here.
Thank you. So you talked about the, let's say last 50 years or 60 years of the IT sector. Today, the talk of the town is, of course, AI, artificial intelligence that is, sweeping the minds of people in the sense of, and everybody's talking about that, and every industry, not just the IT industry, is gung-ho about that. But beyond the hype and the hoopla, its power is certainly humongous. There is no doubt about it. But the key issue is, how do we leverage the power of AI for the good of humanity? So, given its potential, there are calls being made of considering AI as digital public goods. But two key factors that are shaping this conversation are data. Of course, behind AI is certainly only the data. Data that powers AI are public goods. There is no copyrights on data. But the global challenges such as, climate change, pandemics such as COVID, etc., are wicked problems which require not just innovation but collaboration to solve them. Okay, so they demand this collaboration. But by pushing AI to the domain of DPGs, it's hard, mainly because many of these AI systems are governed by the intellectual property rights, and the open use of algorithms is minimal. So what are your thoughts on the issue of AI for public good and as public good?
Well, first of all, thank you for this very important question. We have to understand that science is about unraveling the mysteries of nature, and technology is about using the ideas of science to provide human beings products, processes, and services that are scalable, that are more efficient, more productive, less costly, more comfortable, more entertaining for human beings, and to solve problems that we could not have solved before. Also, you know very well that technology is a great leveler. It provides the same level of, and in fact, the same quality of services, whether you're rich or poor, weak or powerful, educated or uneducated, or even urban or rural. Like all other technologies, AI too is an ideal technology for improving the quality and productivity of services in the realm of public good. Now, let me speak a little bit about the history of AI. AI, or artificial intelligence research, has been going on for over almost, you can say, 60 years. Chess playing, robotics, and expert systems were the initial applications of AI principles. As you know very well, robotics took off very fast. Chess playing became better and better. However, expert systems faced some resistance since the use of expert systems by doctors was considered risky due to possible class action suits by patients. It is only in the last decade that AI has received tremendous attention thanks to machine learning, deep learning, thanks to OpenAI's ChatGPT-4, robotic surgery, and generative AI and neural networks. Now, coming back to AI, as I pointed out earlier, AI provides the same level and same quality of service to everybody. It is an ideal technology for improving the quality and productivity of services in the realm of public good. But AI needs lots of data, which the culture in developing countries like India are not yet become durga. Therefore, our first task is to start collecting large amounts of data. To do that, we need to provide a framework on what data items should be classified as personal and protectable, and what data items can be used to create public good. Now, Government of India's recent data protection bill is a good first step. Our researchers have to work on privacy, ethics, fake data, impersonation, and the impact of such technology falling into the hands of the undesirable people, and also how to prevent them. So my view is that we have a lot of work to do, particularly in collecting large amounts of data, because as you know better than I do, you're an expert in that area. Machine learning, deep learning, and of course, supervised algorithms, unsupervised algorithms, none of these things will work properly unless you have large amounts of data. The whole realm of LLM, large language models, depends on large amounts of data. Deep learning depends on large amounts of data. So I would say that the country should sit down, the experts like you should sit down, have a discussion on how to make sure that large amounts of data is collected, and number two, what data should be protected and deemed personal, and what data can be considered public good. That's where I would say we need to do.
Yes, thank you. Of course, in a country like ours with more than 1 billion population, data is humongous, but the question is of data collection and quality of that data. So
Exactly.
given the power of AI, every government, every nation, and every industry body is actually developing and including debating strategies for AI adoption and growth in their own country. So similarly, in our country, NASSCOM has developed, it's been tracking the AI adoption in India, and has developed what it calls as a AI adoption index, which was published in 2022. And in that index, it places India at the second stage of their four-scale model. That is, the first one is explorer, second one is an enthusiast, and third one expert, and the fourth was an evangelist. So that's where they place India as an enthusiast with a score of 2.45. But interestingly, I was just listening to, or I read about actually your speech just a couple of days back about, education sector, NEP and all that in the backdrop of Infosys prize. And interesting, you also talked about 4 stages of countries, right? So of course, I know you say India is primarily in the growth stage 2. I mean, many of the industries are in stage 2, or only few are in stage 3, where invention, innovation are actually improvised by the country, whereas stage 2 is only where using the innovations adopted or developed by other countries. So my question to you is, as far as AI is concerned, AI sector is concerned, where do we stand as in country in its adoption?
Well, I am very happy that you alluded to what I spoke at the Infosys Prize announcement function on 15th of November. There I spoke about 4 stages of invention and innovation cycle of a nation. It is probably available, that speech is available on the Infosys Science Foundation website. My view is that India is primarily at stage 2 in most technologies, including AI, and in stage 3 in some rare areas. Now, as you pointed out, stage 2 is about using technology that has been invented or innovated elsewhere for the betterment of our citizens and global citizens. On the other hand, stage 3 is using our higher education and research capabilities to bring about innovations and improvements to such technologies that we adopt from abroad and to make them available in India and the world. For example, South Korea improved the ideas of solid state drive technology and the TV technology invented in Western nations and has now become a leader in these areas with even more innovations. Now, therefore, they are in stage 3. So, my own belief is that, as NASCOM has already pointed out, we in India are primarily at stage 2. That is, we are looking at, and in some cases, we are actually using AI in making the lives of our citizens better. Okay. However, if we have to go to stage 3, it is very important that we have to focus on our primary, secondary, and higher education, and even the realm of research to improve critical, analytical, and independent thinking. And I believe that, like other technology, even the technology of AI will move to stage 3 if we did so. Let me stop here.
Thank you. I totally agree with your views on the stage 2. That is, most of our industries are even, I mean, society is in stage 2. We
Yeah.
are just adopting or using the innovations developed elsewhere, despite all our claims, which is, anyway, that's a different story. Let's not get there. So now coming, and also I must congratulate you and thank you on behalf of our country for instituting this science, I mean, Infosys prizes, because that's a very good initiative that recognizes and spurs R&D. So now it's really wonderful. I mean it when I say this, not just because we have brought that. I mean, it happened just 2 days back. It's very important that we have some of these small or big initiatives that recognize R&D and scientists and their contribution. Now, another buzzword apart from AI is the buzzword of startup ecosystem. And in fact, Bangalore is called the startup capital of India and all that. But if you go by the statistics also, the Ministry of Commerce, Government of India, has indicated or has shown that the number of startups has, grown stupendously. In fact, it puts it around, about more than 15,000 times growth. Because in 2016, there were only 471 startups, whereas by 2022, there was more than almost 73,000 startups. Okay. And amongst these startups, at least 4,500 startups are in the AI sector.
Yeah.
In fact, just yesterday I was looking at some of the global, there was a site which lists the top 50 startups in the AI sector. I was happy to see at least one or two started in India, startups there in the top 50 AI sector. So my question to you is that now is, as an investor, you have been a venture investor. As an investor, what are the traits or factors that you look for in an AI startup while funding?
Well, I think that is again a very important and deeply thought out questions. As you know, Catamaran has a division that focuses on venture investing. They do receive lots of applications from aspiring entrepreneurs. Some of them are in the area of AI, machine learning, and in deep learning. Now, let me give you a generic set of attributes that we use for deciding whether we want to invest in a startup or not. We ask 4 questions, and they are: first, does the idea bring a differentiated value or a differentiated business value proposition that has not been seen in existing ideas in the market? In other words, what is so special about this idea that people will start buying the product that comes out of this idea, product or service, whatever it is? The second question that we ask is there a market for the idea, or can the idea create a market just by its extraordinary uniqueness and not spending too much money? We also further ask the question, have the entrepreneur conducted a small and inexpensive market research exercise before coming to us? The third question that we ask is, have the entrepreneur put together a team with mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive set of expertise, experience, and skills? The fourth question that we ask is there a common enduring value system embraced by every member of the founding team? And can this entrepreneur give us examples of where they use that value system in their own lives, pre the startup or even during the startup? The last question that we ask is there a clear leader amongst the team who leads by example in competence, in values, sacrifice, and austerity? So therefore, we do not worry too much about whether it's AI or non-AI. What is most important is whether that idea can result in a product that will be bought by the customers or consumers. Consumers, if it is a retail market; customers, if it is a corporate market or a business market or B2B market. So therefore, this set of 5 questions is what we will ask every entrepreneur. And once we get satisfactory answer to these 5 questions, we will then move to look at their business plan and all of that. That's all secondary, but these 5 questions are the most important questions.
So unique idea, the uniqueness of the idea of the product, and then I would say, as you mentioned, the value system, these are some of these.
That's right. Yeah.
It's important that way. So now, one particular area as far as AI is concerned is the AI for healthcare. Across
Yeah,
the world, and especially even the World Economic Forum, they have been, talking about how important, as well as how what is the growth in the AI
yeah,
for health sector, and especially for a country like ours, where we
yeah.
have, well, the number one populous country. We need to look at how do we use this AI for reaching the unreached or the billions of population. So I wanted you to share your views on how do you think that we can leverage AI for healthcare sector in India.
Well, I must confess that I am not up to date on the use of AI in healthcare in India, except for some applications in remote healthcare consulting and perhaps a few cases of robotic surgery and expert systems, very few cases. However, I do know that AI, robotics, and expert systems, machine learning, deep learning, particularly in detection of diseases like cancer, they have been used as an assistive technology in medical and surgical areas and in remote healthcare advisory delivery globally. So beyond that, at this point of time, I don't know if I can say authoritatively what is happening in the area of AI in healthcare.
Yeah, diagnostics is one area where it's kind of time tested as far as AI application is concerned. Telemedicine, of course, robotic surgery. Still, some people are apprehensive about the robotic surgery part. I mean, telemedicine. I'm talking about. But the question,
Yeah.
why I raise this question is given its potential for solving the problem of our population, especially in the health sector. People are talking about AI for health in India too, and there are a couple of startups
No,
now.
but maybe I am not, but I do consult doctors for my diabetes. I do, go for periodic checkups, but I haven't seen any examples of use of AI in these cases.
So anyway, we all know about the power of AI. Now let us come to the pitfalls of AI, because along with that, the
Yeah,
pitfalls are also there. And then,
yeah,
many people have been raising concerns, starting with even, tech billionaire like Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, and historians such as Yuval Noah Harari have been airing concerns about this.
yeah.
Could you share your thoughts and views on the? I mean, people are talking about sort of an existential crisis that is being brought about by AI. What are your thoughts on that?
Sam Altman and Harari are globally respected experts. There's not much one can add to their sane and wise voices of concern or even contest them. As I said earlier, it is for our experts in sciences, including social sciences and philosophy, to work on how best to design the boundary conditions for self-learning and unsupervised algorithms to stop taking decisions that may actually threaten humanity and that may act in undesirable manner. This is very, very important because when you have a self-learning and unsupervised algorithm, that is where the human being that designed the framework will have to say, you cannot go beyond this, even if you learn something new. At that point of time, please give back control to me, and I will look at it. I, the human, will look at it and then perhaps tell you what can be done. Now, there is a second issue, and that is ensuring that these wonderful technologies do not fall into the hands of evil forces and terrorists. That is a very important responsibility of our experts, of our researchers, and of course of our security forces. That's, now these security forces should sit down with experts and come out with some guidelines and make sure that they also form consortiums with the security forces of other nations to prevent the use of such knowledge of unsupervised and self-learning algorithms falling into the hands of evil people and terrorists. That's what I would say.
Yeah. I mean, of course, you did not mention regulations. Generally, most of these people are talking
Well,
about.
regulations are not followed by terrorists and evil people.
Yeah,
So
regulations,
therefore,
as far
it
as
is
yeah, I agree.
it is the responsibility of security forces, institutions like RAW here, CIA in the US, et cetera, et cetera. They should all come together and ensure that these fantastic technologies are not used for evil purposes by evil people and terrorists.
Yeah. So you brought about this, mentioned Chat GPT or the generative AI, and in the context of this problems of AI, one of the
Yeah,
major problems or immediate problems that
yeah,
everybody is worried about is the misinformation or the disinformation
yeah.
campaign that happens through these kinds of generative AIs. So, what are your thoughts on the disinformation phenomena and how do we combat it?
Professor Hers, I'm very happy you brought it up. Probably you may have noticed that some mischievous people, some evil people, had put up a fake video of me and one of my colleagues at Infosys, and they were advertising some fundraising with which we had nothing to do, zero. Now, this therefore is a classical case of deep fake mechanisms, misinformation, and disinformation of technology by evil people. Now, these things form a huge threat to the harmony, peace, and well being of this world. My own view is that only a user whose KYC, that is, know your customers, or whose identity, or whose authenticity of whose identity has been verified by these media companies, they should be allowed to post images, or rather messages, on these social platforms. This is necessary to protect the innocent people and to prevent their reputation being maligned by these evil people. So, given that defamation cases take a long time to be resolved in our country, even in cases where the identity of the individual is known, we should ensure that people own accountability for what they post on social media platforms. The first step, as I said before, is to establish the KYC of every person who is allowed to post a message on these social media platforms.
Yeah, that's where government regulations regarding the social media platforms are similar one.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is a task. I'm very happy you mentioned that. This is a task that the government of India should immediately look at to protect the reputation and of innocent people being maligned by evil forces on social media platforms like it has happened in the past.
And it is, doable. It's not a big, it's not a rocket science.
It's very easily doable. It doesn't take any effort.
Yeah.
Government has to simply issue a diktat saying that anybody who wants to post on post a message on your social media platform, either his Aadhaar identity, or if he or she is posting from outside India, if mostly from developed countries, I think they have other mechanisms by which their own KYC can be established. That's very simple. It's not a big deal.
The digital identity has to be there, some form, whatever form it is, Aadhaar or whatever.
Whatever it is, it can be social security number, it can be anything, as long as you have way of tracing who is this fellow who is trying to do this mischief. It's very easy. Then there is a deterrent, right? You have to create deterrent for these things.
Yeah, that is true. And especially because it is easily doable, it should be done. And it has created havoc already. Forget
No,
about
I'm very happy that a respected academician like you also feel what I am saying is necessary, because at the end of the day, innocent people should not suffer because of some evil people.
Yeah,
That's very important.
very, very important. Yeah, protecting people, and especially some vulnerable, especially girls or women. I mean, sometimes, their whole life is shattered because of all of this.
Yeah.
Next question to you is about, long back, you famously, or whatever you go, because it became a talk of the town then, some 30 years back, about the unemployability problem rather than the employment issue. You said unemployability of our graduates, our human resource is a major concern in India. And today, in the context of AI, now I'm asking, what are your of course you already mentioned about the education sector. That is where to move the needle we need the education, research, etc. So and also there is this AI. In the context of AI, of course, jokes apart, people are saying, as the AI, artificial intelligence, is rising, human intelligence is on the decline, which is partly true, I would say. Okay, because people are, we know, with information, people are, sometimes I wonder why people don't have that critical ability to say that this is sort of fake or whatever. Some of these things can be easily recognized. Anyway, my question is, how do we bridge this talent gap in the background of...
Well, first of all, let me tell you that the statement I made was around the same time that McKinsey conducted a study and came to a certain unemployability figure of Indian engineers. It's not
Yeah.
from me alone. It was actually primarily from a McKinsey study. Now, I would focus on helping Indians become employable and valuable citizens who can solve problems for our country. They're all good people. Students are primarily good people. They want to add value to the country. They want to take up good jobs. That's very natural. I fully appreciate their desire. However, the reality that our education system sometimes lets down a certain percentage of these wonderful youngsters. Therefore, our task is very clear, and that is, how do we make Indian students become more employable and more valuable citizens for our country? That's only possible by enhancing the quality of our education system, starting right from the primary school level, not just at the college level. It has to start right from the primary school level. This requires us to teach our children critical, analytical, and independent thinking, ability to employ Socratic questioning, and the ability to relate what these children learn in the classroom to understand the environment around them. And of course, that as they grow older, will help them to solve problems around them. I have spoken about this many, many, many times. This is a long journey, and the success in this initiative takes much, much effort. But my own view is it is a very necessary effort if India wants to become a developed nation. And I believe that it is better to start this effort today than waiting for tomorrow.
True. So, I mean, like I go back to your recent remarks about 1 billion USD spending on teachers. So I think again that's also doable for a country. I mean, 1 billion US dollars is not a big amount for a government of India to spend. And then
I mean, yes, yeah, we will soon become a $5 trillion economy. Our economy is growing well. Everybody is excited. Therefore, it is not a big deal. It is not at all a big deal. So, therefore, I would request our political leaders and our bureaucracy to look at this suggestion sympathetically and get it evaluated by experts. And if the expert were to say this is not a bad idea, this is an idea that should be looked at seriously, maybe our political system can look at it and make it a reality.
But I'm sure since you brought about the 5 trillion economy and the GDP, I'm sure you are aware of this. Over the last 10 years, in fact, as a percentage of our GDP, the amount spent on R&D has been declining. It's now only stands at 0.65% of our GDP, whereas
That's right.
I mean, yeah. So that's, I mean, as an academic or a researcher, I would worry about that also. Why it's on the decline? I mean, even though absolute terms, of course, it's fine, okay, in the sense it is not declining, but in terms of percentage of GDP, it's actually declining, and we are actually in the lowest among the BRIC countries, also BRICS countries, not even.
You are absolutely right, Professor Rush. That's the reason why you and I on NASCOM also, we have all come to the conclusion we are still in the second stage of invention and innovation ladder. So, therefore, if we have to move to stage three and stage four in my ladder of innovation, then the private sector has to put in more money in R&D, not just the government. The private sector has to have its share or has to contribute its share to take our country from stage two to stage four. Absolutely, you are 100% right.
So, I mean, in the background of AI and all these issues that we are talking about, of course, one of the important aspects or dimension of AI that has come up is what they call as the responsible AI, or raising the guardrails for responsible AI. And many institutions, including the responsible AI Institute at Stanford, itself, have come up with some kind of guidelines about how do we remove bias, how do you remove these, and including, in fact, our own Niti Aayog has come up
Yeah.
with this report called the National Strategy for Artificial Intelligence report towards the
Yeah.
development of responsible AI for all. So my question, it provides a framework for responsible AI for India. My question to you now, as an investor, as an entrepreneur, do you think that, because when companies have to raise the guardrails, right, when they have to have this follow these frameworks, naturally it will cut the profit margin to a certain extent. So do you think that this will have an impact, or will it still be profit at all costs? Do you think that it's going to happen, people are going to follow these responsible AI guidelines?
First of all, I'm very happy that Niti Aayog, the Responsible AI Institute at Stanford, and other such institutions have been uh, working on how to make AI and perhaps other technologies more trustworthy? I think it's a very, very important issue. Now, coming to your question, I've always believed, and I've tried it in during the 30 years of my CEO and chairman position at Infosys, that if you invest money in R&D, in quality, in productivity, in training, you will only get higher profits. You don't reduce profits by investing in these areas. So therefore, I entirely agree with your assumptions that profit will not suffer if you put more and more money in R&D, in moving up the innovation ladder, and in improving productivity, in improving quality, etc. Now, on the issue of enhancing trust, I come at this problem from a different perspective. Now, trust comes from dependability. Dependability comes from delivering what you have promised. Therefore, if you kept on exceeding your promise in terms of quality, time, and exceeding and reducing the cost that you had promised, then people will automatically start trusting you more and more. And to do this, earning respect is important, because once a corporation says, I want to become respectable in the society, then it will automatically start satisfying every stakeholder in a corporation. From the day Infosys was started, we kept our vision as becoming a globally respected corporation. That is what my parents and my they said, if you seek respect from the society, you will not do anything that will harm any stakeholder in the society. And therefore, they said, before you take any decision, if you ask whether your decisions will make the society a better place to live, you will automatically become much more respected. They also said, if you will have to ask whether these are my teachers, not my parents, my later teachers. They said, you will have to ask whether you will be fair to your fellow employees, you will be fair to your customers, whether you will be fair to your investors, whether you will be fair to the government of land and pay proper taxes, and whether you will be fair to the society by not doing anything that harms the society. Then they said, respect for you will automatically enhance. Therefore, my advice is for every corporate leader to invest more and more in R&D and to work towards earning the respect of the society in every one of their actions. Then I believe that all our problems will melt like dew on a sunny morning.
Thank you. As you said, fairness and justice, those are our dharmas, right? That's our real dharma.
Absolutely.
Whether you are a human being or a corporate leader or a teacher or whatever, if you follow those dharmas.
Yeah. All that is what Bhagavad Gita has told us. And therefore, it is very important. That's what every religion, whether it is Hinduism or Christianity or Muslim religion, whatever it is, all of them have taught us that if you did good things to a society, then you will get more respect, and therefore you should do more and more good things to the society.
True that. I use the word dharma in that sense, not necessarily as religion, as our duty.
Oh, absolutely.
So my final question to you, following on this question about, beyond profits, or how do we be just and fair and also have profits. I know there are these movements, what is called as the triple bottom line, TBL, that is profits, people, and planet. So that's also one of the frameworks that are generally used. So my question to you is, as an entrepreneur, of course, and now as an investor, would you look at these principles, the triple bottom line principles, in your applications for funding?
No, I'm very happy that you raised this issue. I'm very grateful to you. See, my belief in triple bottom line comes from my conviction that being rich in a poor, dirty, polluted, and unlivable environment is not a happy situation. That's why I believe that ESG framework is extremely important for every corporation. Therefore, I automatically believe in the triple bottom line. That's the only way you can make capitalism attractive in a poor country like India. Therefore, my humble request to all the corporate leaders who are also the leaders of capitalism in India, that they become evangelists for ESG, triple bottom line, and compassionate capitalism.
True that, yeah. I mean, again, going back to our age-old wisdom, Sarve Jano Sukhino Bhavantu. If everybody is happy, we are happy and we are rich also, right? You
That's
can't be
right.
rich. Yeah, that's
And Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. What
yeah.
more can you
What
say,
more?
right?
We have to follow those principles, not just talk about them. That is the
That's
main
right.
issue. Yeah. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for this opportunity, of course, and also I must say that taking the time out and efforts and giving this interview. Thank you so much. I'm sure our viewers are going to enjoy and learn, and hopefully inculcate some of these, I would say, universal values, time-tested universal values.
Absolutely. I think what you have spoken about today, they rise above the boundaries of caste, religions, nationalities, regions, etc. They form the universal truth for this planet. We don't know what is there outside this planet, so I can't talk about it. But this is absolutely true for every corner of this planet. Therefore, what you have said is extremely important, and all of us should follow your precept. Thank you very much for
Thank you
your
so much, sir.
opportunity.
Thank you. I'm really indebted to you for this opportunity and your time and everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hope to see you somewhere.
Absolutely, absolutely. I keep coming to Mysore.
Sure.
Certainly.
We'll
Thank
be
you.
in touch. Okay. Thank you, sir. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks. Shall I close it? Is it okay?
Yeah.